Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chicken Possible with Rewards Hunter, back with part 3 of the Venba series. So this is the series where we work through grabbing all the achievements in this game and a few Microsoft Rewards points along the way. So we're going to be grabbing 3 more achievements in this game today. If you haven't watched parts 1 and 2, those will be linked in the description so you can get caught up and grab the achievements that we've previously grabbed. As always, I'll be breaking this up into 3 separate days worth of achievements in this one video that you can use for the now 5-point quest for earning an achievement in a Game Pass game. And I know we had a big change to this last week. It switched from 50 points per day to only 5 points per day. So some people are kind of questioning, whether we should keep doing this. One thing that I would point out is that we do have 3 monthly quests every month that add up to a total of 625 points. And all of these daily achievements do help to add up and help you to complete these different 3 monthly quests that exist. So they are still useful. You get a few points for each achievement, and they help you to work towards 625 total points overall for the month. So as always, I'm going to keep putting them out. I'm going to keep working on achievements myself, and I'll keep working on the Venba series with you here. Let's take a quick look at the achievement tracker. You should be at 6 out of 15 achievements so far, and the last achievement we got was for making the dinner spread in part 2. So let's pick up from there, and we're going to continue and grab the next 3 achievements in the game. And the first 2 are fairly easy. The third one is going to be a more complex recipe. So for the first one, this one's called Silicon Heartbreak, and Venba gets a text message. And so basically you just want to make sure that you scroll up through her text messages before you click A to continue. So just scroll all the way to the top of the list of text messages with Kevin, and then scroll all the way back down. And if you do that before you press A to continue, then you'll get the Silicon Heartbreak achievement there. Mine was a little bit delayed, so it popped up just after a minute or so. So you might just want to make sure that you leave it running for a minute after you've scrolled through all the texts, and then you should get that Silicon Heartbreak achievement. And you'll see mine actually popped up right here after I quit the game. But as long as you scrolled through before you continued, you should get that achievement there. And that is our day 1 achievement. So for the day 2 achievement, this one's going to be another text message scrolling achievement. So we're going to continue, and we'll just continue with the story. And we'll have about a 1-minute cutscene to watch through before we get to the part with Kevin. So I'm just going to fast forward and skip over that section right there. But you'll have about a 1-minute cutscene to get through before you get to Kevin's phone. So he's talking to a person that he's working with named Chris over text messages. So you'll have to actually press A to send some of the text messages here. You'll have about 5 or 6 of them that you'll have to send back and forth with Chris to finish out this conversation. So I'm going to fast forward through it just a little bit here because the text messaging is, a little bit slow, but it'll take you just a couple minutes to get through this. Just keep watching at the lower left corner for the option to scroll. Whenever you get that option to scroll, that's when you want to make sure that you do it before you continue on. And the very last text message that Kevin sends before you can do the scrolling is he says, "Yeah, I'll check my mother's recipe book." So watch out for that one. That one's coming up in just a second here. So when he says, "Yeah, I'll check my mother's recipe book," then you'll go ahead and press A to send that message. And then after that, you'll have the option to scroll before you continue. So make sure you scroll all the way up back through Kevin's list of text messages with Chris. And then you scroll all the way back down. And after you do that, then you can press A to continue. So make sure you scroll through those and then press A, and then you should get the Doomscroll achievement for reading all of Kevin's messages. All right, so that's our achievement for day 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and press the menu button and go to quit there just to get back to the main menu like I usually do for a good starting point. And then for our day 3 achievement, we are going to have to make a kind of complex recipe. This is definitely the most complex recipe and really the only one we have here for part 3. But let's go ahead and continue. And actually Kevin's going to be making the recipe this time, and he's going to be kind of trying to remember his Tamil and how things are written in the recipe book, because this has been kind of handed down for a couple of generations here. So He's going to do his best to translate and remember how to make this recipe. So this one is going to be called chicken risam, and we've got 4 different parts to it. We've got 2 different flavor texts in the first 2 parts we'll want to grab and look at so we can work towards that flavor text achievement. But once we get started here, we'll take a look at the recipe book, and then we'll look at our first flavor text coming up. All right, so let's look at the recipe book, and then you can just press B, and then he'll talk about the recipe just a little bit. Let's press Y, and we're going to go down to the recipe book. So that is our flavor text for part 1 of this 4-part recipe. All right, so now we can start making it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the tamarind up here at the upper left, and we're going to put it in the bowl at the bottom center of the screen. Just drop it into there, and then we're going to put some of the warm water from the pot into that same bowl. And then we're going to press A to mix the ingredients there. And now we are going to grab the sieve on the left, put that on the top bowl, and then we're going to take the tamarind water and pour it through the sieve. Now let's take the sieve and the tamarind, and we're going to drop it back into the bowl at the bottom. And then we're going to pour some more warm water into the bowl and mix it again, and just kind of repeat that process. So let's put the sieve on the top bowl, and then we'll pour the tamarind water through the sieve. And then we'll move the tamarind bits back to the bottom bowl, pour the last mixture of warm water in, mix it again, and then we'll strain the water through the sieve one more time, and that will complete this first part of the 4 parts of the recipe. So sieve goes up on top, and then we'll pour the last bit of tamarind water through. And then he'll say that's about as much as he's going to get. So we'll move on to part 2 of 4 here. And this is the other one that has a flavor text. So make sure that you get your flavor text here on part 2. We're going to press B and go through the dialogue here a little bit. He's got a little bit of translation that he has to do on this one. All right, so now we're going to press Y. And then we're going to go to About Soups. This is our flavor text for part 2. And then we'll page through that. And then we're going to start putting a couple of the spices into the recipe here, into the mixture. So the first one is on the left side. It is the mustard seeds over here. So grab the mustard seeds, drop those into the pan. And then we're going to go for the cumin at the upper right and drop that into the pan as well. So he does a little bit more translation here, and we need to get the red chilies at the upper left and put those in, and then the green leaves at the upper right and put those in. So Kevin will do a little bit more translation here, and we're going to get the shallots over on the right side, drop those in. And then there is some garlic and ginger at the lower right in yellow, and we're going to put that in as well. And it'll be time for the tomatoes next after he does a little translation. So let's put the tomatoes in. And then we're going to add the bowl of the tamarind water that we made a couple minutes ago. So we've got 2 ingredients left. So we're going to use the salt on the right side of the screen, put that in, and then we're going to put in the risam powder on the left. That's pretty much it for this section. So this is part 2 of 4 finished. So we'll move on to the part 3 of the recipe. So there's a little cut scene that happens right here, but we'll move on to part 3 of the recipe in just a second. And part 3 and 4 are pretty simple. They're pretty straightforward. So not nearly as complex as 1 and 2. So we'll start by putting the water into the pot here, and then we're going to add in the bone-in chicken, and then we'll put in the other 2 ingredients, the turmeric and the salt. And then we just need to put on the lid after we get the turmeric and the salt on. So the lid's at the upper left, put that on, and there's a little weight on the right side, the cooker weight. Grab that and put that on top. And let's turn on the stove, and that'll get it heating up. So that'll take just a minute to cook, and then that will be the end of part 3. We basically just need to take the lid off after this to finish up part 3. I found it interesting that you actually have control of the hand during this cutscene. I don't think I've seen that in any of the other cutscenes in the game, but you had control of the hand during that, so I thought that was a little strange. You could move it around. All right, so we're going to take the little weight off, and then we'll take the lid off, and that will finish up part 3. And part 4 is very straightforward. So all we're going to do here is just take the chicken and mix it with the mixture that we made in part 2. So just drop that over there onto the left side. And then we're going to just put a little garnish on top, put some of this coriander, and that basically finishes the recipe. So once this is done, we're going to get the Taking Stock achievement, which is our day 3 achievement for finishing up and creating the chicken rasam. So that's pretty much going to do it for part 3 of Venba. So I'm just going to head back out to the main menu as always and make sure that I quit the game. But we'll pick back up there for part 4, and hopefully those achievements worked out for you all. That's going to do it for part 3 of Venba. So I'll be back in 2 weeks with another part to the Venba series. We've got 2 more parts yet to go before we finish up this game. And I'll be back next week with a new Achievement of the Week guide and a new weekly quest guide as always. So I look forward to seeing you all in those future guides. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found that video helpful, please be sure to click the subscribe button here on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. You can also find some helpful links in the description if you want to stay connected. Stay tuned for more Microsoft rewards and achievement guides, and I'll see you in the next one.